buli omu akore kyakusobora kukora kurungi abandi bamugureho, so that we produce what we can do well and others buy from him. Now, this is the fifth most important point. Now, once we have worked on the integration of the African market, then what the Chinese president did recently, what they were talking about, how the Chinese president opened the Chinese market for African products. That's very good. Mutero mungaro omukuru wa China. Because if somebody buys what I produce, he's supporting my prosperity. So therefore, when we are here at Karuma, we are dealing with strategic stimuli. Number 2 on my list here. You remember I told you transport costs, electricity, and so on. So here we are now dealing with number 2. Handling the issue of the low cost of electricity. This electricity here is much cheaper than the one of Bujagari. The one of Bujagari was carelessly done by some people behind my back. This is the one that has been disturbing you. So therefore, I'm very happy. I am part of the happiness which the people are showing. But again here, I want us to really harmonize. Abokuba banyangule bagamba ngo endimi nyingi itukuruza obushera. Many tongues spoil the broth. If you are making porridge and somebody somebody says put in more water, another one says the water is too much, another one says put in more fire, another one says the fire is too much, the porridge will be spoiled. So here, please, don't say again that we now have enough electricity. Please, don't say that again. The way you should look at it is that there are already some developed countries. You can go and look at it on your internet, those who have got those phones. My phone doesn't have those. Because those smartphones stop me from thinking. But you go and look at the phone, the internet. And all of us in our language, we should talk that same language. This is what we call kilowatt hour per capita. Kilowatt hour per capita. The amount of electricity per person, per citizen, per person in that population. You can go and see the per capita, the kilowatt hour per capita of the USA, of countries like Sweden, and so on. You see, what is the per capita? Kilowatt hour per capita. Now, in the case of Europe and the USA, you can remove the electricity for warming and cooling for the Middle East where it's very hot. Remove that. So if you remove, because for us here we don't have to have air conditioning, we don't need them so much. except in a few areas. Now, when you remove that, if you remove internal heating, you remove internal heating mainly. This is the main one. Internal heating or cooling. What is the kilowatt hour per capita of a modern country or a modern person? That's what you, Minister of Energy, should be guiding us on. Should be guiding us on that, so that everybody knows, oh, a modern person who has got a refrigerator, who has got internal, the lighting in the house, then the factories, then all that. Now we have added the transport of the vehicles, the railway, because the railway will be electrified. What is the kilowatt hour per capita that is ideal for us? You should work it out. So that then we say, now if we are now talking of 2,000 something megawatts, what is the per capita, kilowatt per capita there? What will it be, what is it now?
Kilowatt hour per
218 now.
Yes, sir.
And what is the USA?
12,000. 12,000.
Huh?
12,000 kilowatt hour per
Yours
capita.
is 200?
218, and Africa is 518.
5?
518 in Africa. Uganda is 218.
Don't talk about Africa, please. When you are talking about...
US is 12,000.
When you are talking about tall people, don't say the pygmies. It's also... Don't say this pygmy is taller than the other pygmy. Please. I don't want to hear that. So leave Africa out. Don't talk about Africa. So USA is what?
It's 12,000.
I didn't
12,000.
whatever it's
There.
Ogo Musio, I know Bogi,
Come with your phone.
can be tokati. Tumkora, we don't know what was sonere. Do you remember those figures?
Yes, Your Excellency, as we presented in Cabinet, when we were discussing the energy policy, we compared...
Like a country like Sweden is, what is the...
So Sweden is at about 15,000 kilowatt hours.
Now you hear where you are now. Of course, we are now better than other countries. We are the lowest now in Africa.
Of course, we have countries like Chad, Benin, that are way below 100 kilowatt hours per capita.
They are below 100.
Yes.
So please, just thank you so much. Sit down. For me, I can't dance and be happy. Nyoncha churere. Ngamba ntakare aho munyankano hagambira ntakiri. Abanyarwanda bakibaze icyo. Ntuwakiri afadhali. It's better than nothing, but we have got a long way to go. So we have moved now, but we are going to continue moving. We are not going to relax. Because this little electricity we have here now is going to support the factories. It will be very soon, because now the supply is like 500 megawatts. But very soon it will be overtaken. So that's why, where is Ayago Nankavirwa? We gave it to some people. What are they doing?
Mzee Ayago was given to Bridging Foundation. Bridging Foundation proposed to come with a package of $5 billion. These are the Jews who said money will come in and they will not take it back. together with other
Where are they
projects.
now?
We gave them 365 days, which passed. We amended the MOU. The second year is also almost
Okay.
going, and I
the
request-
next is Ayago. We're
Yes,
going to
sir.
do something on Ayago. Ayago. And Ayago will give us 840 megawatts. And then we have the geothermal, then we have the solar. We are going moving. But be clear about the target. The target we need, for instance, if countries like Sweden, they live well with the kilowatt hour per capita of 15,000. We here, that's what those people should calculate for us, the people of energy, the engineers. We here, who don't have to have internal heating and air conditioning, maybe we could do, is 10,000 per kilowatt hour good? Is it 12,000? So that they guide us, that our target, where we live on the globe, the kilowatt hour per capita we need is so much. So that our population is now 46 million, now you can calculate what you need. And very soon, our population will be 100 million. In the next 30 years, it will be 100 million. Aho nyo inja kuwa mbasigwile ngenzero warohanga aho. So, I don't want my great-grandchildren okujuma omugurusi. Tumugurusi tene kiyakozile taratuhabwile So that's why, for me, ibyanyo mbebarizaho kandi byona bihandikire. So I'm telling them that in 30 years' time, their population, when by that time I'm sure I will be in heaven. Because 20 years I will be 100. 30 years I will be 110, but you never know, I may still be around. When my uncle died recently, just last month, but he was 106. He was 106. So 110, you never know. So let's be clear that the target is to have enough electricity for a modern person in our circumstances, which are slightly different from others. Now, here, I want to salute, there's one man, an Italian. I don't know what happened to him. The people who were with me in energy, is Kawagambe Kalisa here? Arohanu. He was Kawagambe Kalisa. Oli omusajja omwitali akabaryoha igenda muzindaro. Oli omusigazo omwitali.
Your Excellency, omusajja wakanakola na Salini, he was working with Salini. He was called Antonio.
Yes.
He was working with Salini. He was a construction engineer.
It was called Antonio.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, I want to thank that person, although he's not here, and I don't know where he is, because the Norwegians wanted to do this dam here. But they wanted to use the surface water, the surface run, to use the water on the river. And they would get us 200 megawatts. They had a company called No Park And we were moving with them. Then this Italian man came. He was younger. He was a young man, not so old. He came and said, why? Why do you do this? Have you forgotten geography? Because I used to do geography. Don't you know there is a height difference between here and the lower part of the River Nile? Why don't you use that difference in height? Instead of just using the water on the surface, why don't you, through a tunnel, make the water drop more and give you more energy? So that's how I abandoned the Norwegians. I told the Norwegians, no, I've got somebody who has got a better idea. You make a plan. He made a plan, but I don't know what happened. What was the problem? Kabagambe Karisa. Akata innocent. Huh?
Your Excellency, the major problem was that he wanted to do it as an independent power plant. And that is private capital. And we had already seen that that was expensive.
Independent?
Power producer. He was
Like Bujagari?
like Ujagari.
Oh, that's why we said we want to do it for the government.
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. Because then they make it expensive. Because they are trying to make Amagoba. But he had planted the idea in my head. So I want to really thank him, and if you know where he is, you call him, I give him a lunch. So once I got the idea of moving from the 200 megawatts to 660 megawatts, then I started planning to do it with government money. We have created an energy fund. We have created our own energy fund. But then I'm very grateful that our Chinese friends came in. They said, not only can we do it technically, but we can co-fund it majorly. So that's how you find that our Chinese friends brought more or less 85% of the funding from Exim Bank of China, and we put in our 15% from the energy fund, and that's how we have built this wonderful facility. So I'm very grateful to that man who called that one here, the Italian, but I'm also very happy with China, and also the company Sinohydro, because they are a serious company. So I will write to the President of China and thank him for his support. Now, finally, in Mbaza, the ministers are here. They had Babhurire, in Mbaza. Compensation, Babhurire, they had that. Now, the veterans, my daughter, the chairperson, the veterans want tractors, but also what about veterans now? Why don't they work with the farmers? I would tell the Minister of Agriculture to be in touch with them. But to go the tractors, farmers, if they are together with the other farmers. Oh, haro monta kampe mbuzi. Aje mwe milioni 2 ate mbuzi. Omuseja ampere mbuzi alinka. Akampe mbuzi no mwana gwayo. alhali mumpere milioni 2. LC5, LC1 nagoza kwala ngenda naza kumha pikipiki hati LC1 alinka anoho mara wange LC5 abanabaza ha circles zaba border circles of Oyam, Noya, na hano chile ya Ndongo. Kale bono inja kwa tera milioni 5 Buri district. Ninza wa chairman kwa razili nebiabo. Now the floating islands, we're going to take it up with agriculture. We shall make sure they have a permanent program upstream so that the papyrus does not float down. They harvest it before it gets here. Vandalism, okuteme byoma. We handled it the other time, we arrested many of them, but I'm going to tell the cabinet on Monday to have a real program of dealing with that problem permanently. The ferry, Marawanga, my daughter has brought a good idea that is sharing car. Extra shy no gonza kibelenka ikidieri kibelenka
kibe
katurikire enguto negenda nka
orugudo rutandikira katulikire nirugenda mutunda ndene nyanja eri mutunda cross to Atura, and even
Atura.
previously fere beroho. That's why UNRA works on that road kuruga katulikire kugenda mpaka mutunda.
ato ruguto hari ruguto rwakora taro kidieri
Busao Teriolasi tizi Maram Road.
eri nguto ya Runkunyu Masindi Port hariyo iki
Masindi Port aliye kidieri.
ato nogonze kidieri kya kabiri
Ekya kabiri kibe Atura.
Okay, we are going to get it. We shall get it.
Thank you so much.
Wabare muno muhara wange oba mukazi mukozi.
Ego.
Now, the resettlement of Rapono. I didn't but ogambireki munabagira mutabo.
Your Excellency, itaka tukaligura, tumazire kuligura, nitwetaga nka bilioni 3 kombeka enju, bana abantu tuba shifting to these new houses.
Okuombekera amaju.
Ego. So we are in engagement.
Tukwahereza obubati tubakoyombekera.
Hati aruho category, it was a Swede, the majority of them, but it aruho the vulnerables. abatakweyamba batakwesobora ati abo nibo twine kuyamba kubombekera.
Are those people here, those the displaced? Itaka kurara roho amabati tubashobora kuyombekera tukabaha amabati na kasementi no hari kubimanya ibyo Lok Matini, Manok. Matini is actually, oh, me, I'm because Chope. Okay. Abacho pete ko mahari nyoro. Mumbarizo muri nyoro ni ati orukubaha amabati na sementi tumukweyombekera imwe.
Kimiwa wage home.
Nika kimi ubari nono. Ki ot pitwera chiri ki simiti pitwera chiri geru no ot kuja.
I'm one of the affected person by the project. We applied for a settlement.
Now
But it has taken long for us to go.
The land is there. Now these government people want to they have made a long list of costs. The question is, if we give you mabati and cement, can't you build for yourselves?
We can do that one, His Excellency, but our fear is the environmental impact assessment. I don't think it was taken well because that place is full of elephants.
Is it a park?
It is very near the park, whereby if we are to go, at least if there is electronic, maybe something to stop the elephants,
Yes,
then we shall go.
We can put electric fence there.
Yeah, if they are to put electric fence,
But
we are willing.
would you accept the idea of Okoyombekere Inywe?
Of doing what?
Translate for her.
Building for us, we,
You yourself building for yourselves when you are given the building materials.
Give you mabati, cement.
now what of the contractor? Are we also the one supposed to be to get?
No,
Labor.
labor now, if you, labor you can hire, because the government, they make it very expensive.
Through our pocket or what? Should we use our pocket for hiring the labor?
Because they are now saying, what is the cost per house?
I'm not an engineer, His Excellency, I can't help.
No, I'm asking, I didn't Bateve.
From the assessment that we've done with the design engineers, we are looking at an average of 100 million per house, average, including everything, and the amenities.
Don't you see what I'm saying? You people, you can build a house at what cost in your Bahanu? One of you must.
His Excellency,
You work Tambari Jahan.
now if you are given, at least we should be given 3/4 of that money.